Hello, in this lesson we're going to learn how to draw pretty faces. I'm going to show you a really cool uh, technique that will help you draw pretty faces much more simply. You need to have some sort of foundation. I'm not going to go through all like the proportions and how to individually draw the eyes, nose, and all that kind of stuff. For that, I have a course that's on sale right now. And if this link is not working on my website, masterpaintingnow.com, then just give me an email, let me know that this link isn't working. If it doesn't show that's $14 or $13.99, whatever, just let me know and I'll send you a link in the email. I'll respond to your email and I'll send you the proper link. And there's contact me on this site here. Just go to the contact. Actually, I don't have a contact on here. So I guess just leave a comment, or I'll try to put the pinned, that's what I'll try to do. I'll try to put a pinned comment. And that's only going to stay good for like a month. So if this video is over the month old, that link will no longer be available to you. But anyway, this is the course that goes through all of that in great detail. But if you already have a kind of a foundation how to draw heads, you kind of have the idea of proportions, all that kind of stuff, this will be helpful. Even if you don't, this will still be really helpful for you, because later on when you do start learning all that kind of stuff, this will make it easier for you to actually draw the head. And you can use any method. You can take any, as long as you know the proportions stuff, then that's fine. This technique is going to show you how to do the head regardless of what your background is, and that is how you draw faces or heads. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. Create a new layer. If you're working with pencil and paper, that's fine too. I recommend having a piece of tracing paper that you can draw certain parts on. If you get stuck on something, that way you can put it underneath your paper with a light board or something. That way you can kind of see and kind of place the lips and stuff like that. So the first thing is this main technique, and you could use it for drawing a face from the front view or whatever, but I like doing it. We're going to do the 3/4 view only because I think that's the hardest view to draw, and so we're going to challenge ourselves. So the first thing is you want to draw something that's almost a circle. So imagine a perfect circle would be like this. We want to kind of squash that to where it's kind of like this, almost like it's a square or circle, right? Kind of like that. So that's the idea. We're going to kind of just draw this kind of ovalish, rounded square shape, and then we're going to go right between that, right to the center, and draw another one. You can also just duplicate this if you wanted to, but the whole point is, if we can like quickly sketch, and duplicating stuff sometimes can take longer than just drawing it. Then just draw almost a straight line, or just for now, just draw a straight line right here along the edge, kind of dividing it. We can kind of slightly curve that line like this. If you want a different kind of comic book feel to it, we'll kind of go like that. And then if these lines start getting too much, we can just start, kind of erasing some of them before we continue. Just make them light. Or you can draw on another layer, like set up this on one layer and then draw on another layer. Right where these ovals tend to meet, we're going to use that as a place where we're going to have our eyes here. That's where eyes are going to be. Now one thing that's cool about 3/4 view, or one thing you should definitely pay attention to, is everything is kind of on a slight angle depending on where your eye line. If your eye line is more down here, then everything at the mouth and the nose and eyes are all going to be in angles going up like this. If the eye line is more up here and you're kind of looking down, then that's all the eye line and stuff is going to fall down, which means you'll see the top of the head. And you can actually draw it on a straight line and it will still look pretty good. Sometimes it might look something like might just seem a little bit off especially when you go to more of extreme 3/4 views like we're going to do. So just keep that in mind. We're going to kind of draw this kind of shape like this to that middle line, like this, almost like a skull. Have that same length apart here, and we're going to kind of do another kind of square shape here, kind of oval rectangle, just to kind of give us a placement, a guideline where to go. We're going to draw eyebrows in here. They kind of go like this, and they kind of get thicker there. And the reason why this is because the eyebrows are technically turning away from us. Now make sure to follow the angle of this for the forehead, because the forehead actually is, from 3/4 view, actually gets angled back like that. It's not, it's not like straight up and down like this. You can have that same shape kind of follow down like that, but we'll do that in a second because we're going to draw the eyeball in that area. The nose, the bridge of the nose kind of comes down and out, kind of comes like this. And the thing is, we don't want to go too much farther than this circle here. So what we're going to do, just kind of imagine that's coming down, this angle here is coming down a little bit further, and that's about where the nose wants to fit in. So I like to kind of just draw where the two lines are going to meet up, and then you can draw maybe the nostril flange, however you want to draw the nose. We're going to give just a cute little kind of button nose like this. Kind of start erasing some of these lines here. That's kind of a good guide spot for where the eyebrows are going to be. Again, proportions and all that, this is stuff you should already know. I'm not going to go through all that, otherwise this video would just be too long. But mainly, that having that oval and oval there together, and you can get, if you make it more, rounded and meet them both together, you'll get kind of a longer face, You can mess with these two shapes and then get different kinds of faces. Again, you can draw it from the front view too, and then this would be your eye line here, and you draw your eyes in here, like so. And this is good for just drawing different kinds of faces. You can have the nose be there or give the longer nose, because that's what we're following. We're following, this shape here, right? And so you can use this to make different kinds of faces. You can also maybe have the top circle be more circle-ish and the bottom one be more squishy to get a different view, and vice versa. You can have the top one be like this and have the bottom one be longer, or just be more, have the top one be the more squishy one like this, and the bottom one have it be the non-squishy circle, and that's going to change all of the proportions. Now your nose and everything's going to be longer. You don't have to come down, further with it like this, or you can make it have a, have a really squishy nose and a mouth, and this would give it actually a long chin, like that, as you can see. So that would give it that long chin look. And then if you did the opposite of this, where you have more of the regular circle up here and then the squash circle down here, that would give you a short chin, as you can see. So anyway, mess around with that. It's a really cool way to just get different kinds of faces and fit everything in, but everything kind of fits in the same way. Another thing to keep in mind is the eyes, everything I said is going to be on an angle. So this is like the straight line. Everything is going to be on a slight angle. So you want just everything like this. It's such a slight angle though. It's almost straight. See that the nose is falling on the angle? Just imagine that angle coming all the way down like that. I'm going to go and get rid of that line. So the eyes I like to draw like this, right? I draw this kind of rhombus shape. And then I just kind of round out this part of it here. So I just kind of give it like that. Then I can add the makeup on. And voila, you have this really cool comic book kind of eye. Alright, so I made this eyebrow, I think, a little too angled. Let's go ahead. It shouldn't go higher than this eyebrow. The top of the eyebrow should follow that same kind of line. It's almost a straight line, but it has a slight angle to it. And the eyebrows here are going to be kind of a little bit thicker here and then thinner here. And I go through all these reasons why all this is in my courses. But basically, if you look at the eyebrow from the front view, it kind of comes up and gets thinner. We're viewing this part of it because that's turning away from us. All this is hidden from our view. It's wrapping around the head on the other side. We're just seeing this part. But also the nose bridge is blocking some of this eyebrow, so it looks thinner like that. And that's why it looks like this, because of the nose bridge. Hopefully I remember to get rid of some of the dog sounds. I do apologize. They like to bark at everything. Cat comes, they bark at it. Where these two ovals are over here, let's kind of draw this one oval kind of matching all those together. And the ear is actually going to kind of extend out of this just a little bit, and it's going to be a little bit lower than the eyebrows. I know from the front view it's actually equal to eyebrows, but in this case it comes down lower. This has to do with perspective. I'm not going to go into all the reasons why I go into that in my courses, but this, like I said, is just to show you a quick method, a really cool, effective, quick method to drawing. And then the hairline and everything will be up above, up here. So if you wanted to have a shorter squat head, you can. That's how we drew the ovals, but we know that normally the head goes higher, so we can just kind of draw the head, more rounded and coming up like this. Coming around the back here, and we'll go into the jawline and stuff like that in a second. Right, so the eyes are going to have that same kind of rhombus shape from this side here, but it's going to be turning away from us. So here's the eyeball, but it's turning away from us, so we don't see this part of the eye. We're just going to see it cuts off like that, so we're actually going to see the round of the eye. Again, I go through all this. I actually have some free tutorials on this YouTube channel that go into how, the eyeball is an actual eyeball, and you have the folds of skin coming over the eyeball. And so when the head turns, we're only seeing this part of the eye, so you're seeing this fold of the skin coming around, you're seeing part of the eye and so forth. Anyway, I go through all that kind of stuff. So important to understand and know why it's looking the way it's looking, so you can figure out for yourself when you want to change angles. But we're going to go ahead and pull the shape of our eye about like this, and then it's going to come right off. And I want to make sure that that line, I'm going to capture that line. Actually, you know what? I don't want it to go that high. I'm going to just kind of put a basic oval shape for right now. There we go. Just so I can capture where I want my eye to be. Then to have this shape right here. And we can give her bigger eyes. I'll leave that up to you. You can change how big you want the eyes to be. Now the face right here kind of follows. I do an angle like this and then do an angle like that. Just kind of about like this. Angle here, angle here. That will kind of give you a ballpark where you want to go with the shape of the head. And then we're going to kind of change that to be more feminine, but that gives you a ballpark. And the nose is actually kind of short. So we can, again, I made my ovals a little bit short, I think. We're going to kind of pull the nose a little bit longer here. Like so. Then our face will follow that same angle. Notice the angles are the same. The nose and the cheek right there, and then it will start curving in and coming down this way. We probably won't make the jawline that long, but just kind of giving some guidelines, some marks there. Also, I don't have to have the head be this wide either, so I'm going to go ahead and change all this as well. We can make it this wide, but I'm going to pull it in just a little bit. I like to go a little bit thinner, about like so. And again, that comes down to how you draw those first ovals. So I recommend kind of drawing them almost like a circle, about like that. That would give me, right about there would give me what I have now. And then over here, and then the ear would kind of come out just a little bit over here like that. Come up. The eyes, eye line, come here, come down. Jawline. Yeah, see that right there would give me about what I have now. And the mouth and stuff. So yeah, there we go. So that's like the quick idea. That's how you kind of get everything in there. So that right there, maybe I should have started with that quick sketch I just did, because that's really all the information you need if you already know how to draw the face. So, all right, so there we go. Now we got some landmarks. We're on our way. Boom, 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 boom. Erase some of that stuff. Remember the eyes are an eye length apart, so we're going to keep that an eye length apart between. And that same kind of rhombus shape is what I'm thinking about here. And I'm going to come in. I want to make sure that I'm on the same line. So come across like this with a slightly diagonal line. And I want my eye to fit right in there. Don't worry about having these construction lines, because you can do those on a separate layer if you want. But this is just a sketch, so but you can always, I need to be a little bit closer. This is hard for me to draw that far away and being able to see my strokes right how I want them to be. So that's the kind of basic shape I start with, and I kind of curve down like that. Okay. I'm going to have her kind of looking up in a way. And whenever you do that, like, it has to match on both sides. So if one eye is on the corner, the other eye has to be in the corner too. So this is on the inside corner, it has to be on the outside corner. I'll make the eyebrow a little bit taller here. There should be a little bit more room. Like so. And then we're going to follow across that same kind of diagonal line. Make sure eyebrows kind of fit into the same area. There we go. Everything falls on the same lines, otherwise everything looks weird. The basic shape of the nose, I kind of come at this like slope like this, then I come almost straight down, and then I come in. That's like the basic shape, and then I have this kind of like shape like that for the nostril, and then the flange. We're going to give a little bit of makeup to this side of the eye as well. I'm going to give her a little bit of this kind of eye fold. And from 3/4 view, I like to kind of do it like that. So there's like a slight line breaking over. Get rid of some of these lines here. Clean up some of this. And voila! So as you can already see, it's starting to shape up to be a pretty face. So lips, from 3/4 view, you're basically seeing, if you imagine the lips have a shape like this, this is that one shape here, then the lips kind of come down like this. Then you have your bottom lip, fits like that, right? So we're going to see this side is going to be normal, but this side we're only going to be able to see like that much of it, because all this is going to be hidden from us because it's turning away. And that changes the shape of the lips, and that's why we get the shape. I just want you to understand why we're going to be drawing the shape that we're going to be drawing right now. I probably should have drew this a little bit bigger so that I can get more detail, but we're going to imagine this line coming down like this. This is our center line. And we're going to kind of break it right here. We're going to draw this side how we normally would draw lips from the front view. Coming down like this, that's that center piece. Then it comes down like this. Right, so that's our shape of our lip. Let's kind of clean that up a little bit. Right, now the other side of the lip, like I said, we're only seeing part of it, so it's like this. Then it kind of comes like that, and that's like the shape that we use. This shape right here, like this, it's like a sideways M. That shape is actually present on a lot of different parts of the body. But then you can kind of come down like this, come across. And that right there gives you the basic shape of an open mouth. That's that centerpiece. This is the kind of inside of the lip that we're seeing there. And I'm going to make the bottom lip not quite as big. Like that, and make sure to come across almost like a straight line here. Or you can kind of have that, you know, butt lip like that. So it's like that, kind of looks like a butt. So the bottom lip, you know, kind of has that line. Anyway, hopefully you know what I'm talking about for a butt lip. And then we're going to shade the bottom lip a little bit as well. Now, for how to shape the chin from this view, here's what I like to do. And this jawline is really important because this is the easy part to mess up. If you're wondering why your face isn't looking right, it's probably because you got these shapes wrong. So the first thing is we need to make sure we have enough chin here. So we're going to have our chin be about that much. And that's going to follow that same angle. So the same angle for the eyes. The lips are going to be on that same angle. As you can see, I drew the lips on the same angle, the nose, eyes. Everything's following that same angle, which is just a slight angle. And so we're going to draw the bottom of the chin on that same slight angle like that. So we want to reach that shape there. Okay, that's our, just like a guide mark where to go. Notice that the line, the face here follows the nose like this, and then it comes in toward the lips, then it almost comes straight down like that. So it's almost like this shape. This point here, if you draw a straight line down, should stick out farther than the chin though, so that's important. It's also important that this angle exists here. If that angle doesn't exist, it won't look right in 3/4 view. If you kind of just come more straight down like this, you'll be like, why did my face look weird? That's why it looks weird. You just deform the person, and if you just move the lips over, it'll look really weird. In fact, let's just show you what that looks like. And you're like, man, I drew exactly what you drew, Neil. How come my thing looks all retarded? That's why. Every angle is like really important. Same with this bottom. This isn't as important. You could actually stylize this and kind of come more like that and give more of this kind of Disney look or something. I don't know, or it's Cartoon Network or something. So you can do that and get that weird kind of look if you want to. But we're going to make it more realistic here. By the way, this is the shape, and if you're wondering where all those shapes come from, I teach all this in my anatomy course, so really great stuff. Let's kind of come up here, kind of draw the rest of the head here, coming down like that behind. Actually, from this 3/4 view, it kind of is going to be hidden a little bit. Anyway, some of the rest of the back of the head and the neck would be like right about here. And then, so this is the muscle that kind of comes from the behind the ear and it comes down to the collarbone. And on that ear over here, another muscle comes down this way and connects to the collarbone. And that's what gives you that kind of V shape from this angle. Then the trapezius comes back over there, and then the trapezius here. And so that's what gives you that shape. And then your collarbones kind of come down at an angle like that. Sometimes they even come down at a slight angle like this. And that's what gives you all the, that's where you get all those lines from in this shape. So we're just going to add those in there really quick. gives a foundation to build the head on top of. Next is imagine this line coming almost straight down, like a straight up and down, just perfectly straight up and down like this, and then coming straight across. So imagine this being a perfect square, right, edge of a square right here. We're not going to cut off too much. We're just going to go to here to like there. So understanding this space here, like I imagine that negative space when I do this, and it really does help a lot. So I don't know, this is a trick I do. You can take it or leave it if it helps you. Awesome. That's what I do. I'm imagining that square coming almost straight down like about like this, and then I'm going to come across about like that. But I don't want it to be, I want to come more like this, because it's actually almost, it's almost like a square from this angle. And then you can decide if you want to angle it a little bit more or not. Like I might angle this just a tad bit more. You know, just get a line down though, and then just alter it. Don't erase the whole thing. Just alter it a little bit to make it perfectly what you want it to be. And I think about like that'll work. And then once you have it, you can kind of erase some of this to where you can kind of see better. And we'll kind of add our. And remember, this chin is coming back this way. It's following these lines here. So make sure don't make the mistake of coming across and just going straight across like that, because that's gonna be wrong. If you match it up like that, that's wrong. You have like a pointy chin. Just remember that this part is coming back this way and meeting up with that line. There's a very thin part here of skin, as you can see. That's because as you're turning away, you see less and less of that part of the face. The cheek line, actually, see where we did this circle originally? That's actually right about where the cheek is, right there. So if you want to like imagine where the cheekbone would be, it'd be like right about there. And then all this part of the face, usually from any angle you view the face in, actually it might be a little bit, come on, just a little bit wider like that. And that's going to be like that kind of, you know, skeletal structure or whatever. But that part of the face is almost always darker, like has a darker shade, no matter what angle the light's coming from, unless it's kind of coming from underneath. But it's very rare you ever see people from that angle, so with light. Unless they have like a flashlight or something and they're like, I don't know, doing some Halloween stuff or something. You know, putting the light underneath their face to look scary. Just adding a little bit of shadow here and there. Alright, cool. The next thing is we're going to add some sort of hairstyle here. I have a whole entire section. I think I have a couple free tutorials on how to draw hair. I did one recently. So if you just search my videos, how to draw hair or just hair or something like that, and just search my videos. If you don't know how to do that, just go to my name, click on my name, learn to draw. That takes you to my homepage. On the right hand side there, it's a little icon. In fact, here, let me just show you just in case anyone's interested in doing that. It's really cool to be able to search people's individual channels. So let's go ahead and pull this up here. Pull up one of my videos. I'll show you this in just a second. I'm just trying to pull up a video for you. So let's see here. We'll click on this one. Okay, so when you're on my channel, click on Learn to Draw to go to my, or you're watching this video, click there to go here, and then click this icon right here. And then type hair, for example. And then click enter, and bam, it takes you to different things. So here's one, and then I have a couple others. So this is one of the newer ones I did right here. This one's cool. I go through all the basic ideas of how to draw hair. The basic principles for you can draw hair from imagination. Everything I teach is to teach you to be able to draw from your imagination without having to look at stuff. But if you look at something and you understand these principles, it makes it that much easier to draw what you're looking at, because you can rely on the mechanics to get it right, and then you can kind of go, okay, I know this are the mechanics, but I want to give her a certain look. So I would draw the nose of the person I'm looking at, but I would use all these same mechanics to draw the 3/4 head, so I can make sure to get it right, and then I would look at the person and go, oh wait, their cheek is shaped a little bit more like this, or you know, their cheek doesn't stick out quite this far. I would just kind of shape it to look like the person. I think this eye could also come over just a little bit, and this is what's great about, oops, This is what's great about working digitally. Now, if you don't want to redraw everything and work with pen and paper, there's a lot of cool tricks you can do. I want to make sure I stay on that same line though. So see here, like there's about an eye length apart, and I can kind of see where that is. I'll tell you that trick in just a second here, so make sure. Yeah, see, I think it needs to come down a little bit more. So we're going to go like this, and we'll just use our keyboard here to do the cut down arrows. Nope, that moves everything. Right about there, it should be about right. Anyway, so what you can do is you can, after you have your sketch and everything's done, by the way, you can give her bigger eyes too if you want it to look more cartoony. This is more like a, I don't know, kind of like an American comic look here. Still don't like this eye. You know what, maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to free transform. I'm going to just kind of angle it just a little bit like that. And part of it is because, you know, I have some of the face shaded but not the rest, and that's kind of probably throwing some stuff off for me. Let's kind of add more shading there at that line anyway. So what you can do is you can then go through and you can sketch the head onto a piece of tracing paper. Then you can put that underneath, and when you redraw it, you can go, hey, I want to move this eye. Just don't draw the eye on the new piece of paper. Move this the tracing paper underneath it. Just make sure you're using a light table or something you can see through it. So the tracing paper is underneath your drawing paper. Then you have a light board underneath that so you can see through everything. And then you would just move the tracing paper over this way, and that would move the eye underneath, and then you would draw the eye on top, and now you just move the eye over. So that's how you can move parts around using pen and paper. So here's the basic shape here of the hair, and I'm just trying to think what kind of hair we can give her. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more to draw the hair. So let's go ahead and give bangs here. So we'll start from this part here. This is the bangs coming out, and we're going to have the bangs come right about here to her eyebrow line, come out this way to where her hair, and it kind of falls around like this. So something like so. That's that front hair, and then we have all this top hair here, which is going to kind of go that way and this way. And then you have some of the side hair, then the back hair kind of meeting up together as one shape. And we're just going to kind of go like that. So it's a really simple, quick hairstyle to do. We don't have to do much drawing. Gives us an idea. And there we go. So we have our character. Now you can change the style, like you can't mess with this angle too much. This angle here. So that angle, you want to get good at that angle. So imagine a line coming straight down. In that negative space, you want to make sure that negative space is in there. So that's that negative space right there. You want to make sure that shape exists. And I don't know what angle that is, but that's the angle right there. Whatever angle that is. I can probably measure it, but I don't feel like it. So yeah, just imagine a straight line coming down and then come across at not a straight line. But you want it to be close to a straight line. Now you could mess with this if you get it if you make this too close like this, and you try to fit it in like that and draw it, it looks weird. If anything, for stylization, you can angle this even more and get a slightly different look. Let's go ahead and do that really fast. I'm going to keep a copy of this. And so here's another face I did using the same technique. So let's take that face, and then we're going to stylize it a little bit. So I'm going to make a copy of it, and this software I have to go like this. Duplicate layer. I don't know why it is that way, but it is. So we're going to erase all this right here. We're going to kind of come at a steeper angle here because we're going to make it more stylized. So we're going to come like that. And we're going to angle all this as well. So I'm going to take the lips, I'm going to move them over first so I don't have to redraw them. Already she looks weird now because I have all this space that's not supposed to be there. So now I can get rid of all that. And this is another kind of face eye kind of angles. You can actually, if you want to get really, you know, if it's a male, you can probably get away with that, like keeping it sharp and pointy. For a female, I recommend we keep everything more flowy. And I still want to come to almost straight this way when I create this shape right here. And I want to kind of round that shape just a little bit like so. Something like that. So that's another, oops. That's another shape we can, there we go. Right, so look at that one versus this one. And maybe you want something in between. You like, maybe you don't want to pull the face in that much, but you kind of like the jawline. So we can come back here, take that jawline, and just kind of angle it up just a little bit more, like so. And there you have it. Right, so those are some different techniques and tips. So really quickly, just overview is to draw the head, and let's say you're doing a man head or something. You draw the first circle, then the second circle overlapping it so they're intersecting circles. In this case, let's make the line right here. This is about right here is going to be our eye line, and then you would have the shapes of the eyes in here. Make sure you put them an eye length apart. You should already know all the proportions because this isn't teaching all that stuff. I teach that in other videos, and also I teach it in my courses. We'll have the eyes looking off this way. I usually always have my eyes looking off at something instead of just right at the camera. It just gives it more intrigue, like, hey, what are they looking at? From this front view, this is where the temples are and stuff. We know the ears are going to fit into this area here. And then hairlines, let's say this is a man, so men typically have more of a hairline like this. Well, maybe not quite that. Hold on. Let's get a little bit of hair here first, a little bit of side chops, and then kind of come up. Then we can kind of come in like that. His hair's, going to be about like that thick. Depends how thick you want his hair to be, how much thickness you want here. Maybe we can come out with a weird that's a weird shape, but let's just come something like that, and then there we go, something like this for his hair. The nose is going to fall right about where the, that oval right there is. You can make it a little bit longer though, so we can just a little bit longer here like so. Decide what kind of nose you want to give them. Just doing really quick shorthand stuff here, more comic-y stuff. A male, you can almost come straight down here and come straight across and cut this at an angle like that, and that's going to be a good shape for the head. And this lower jaw, there's all kinds of shapes you can give it, but let's give him a mouth. Typically in comic books, guys only have a lower lip, not an upper lip. If they do have an upper lip, it's very, very thin, but typically it's not an upper lip at all, something like that. And then decide on the chin shape. So maybe you want to give him a big chin shape like this, and then a jaw shape like that. You got to decide on the type of shapes you want. I'm going to go something, let's go something like this. That's kind of weird. Let's just go with the standard. Standard kind of chin jawline here. Like so, it almost attaches, and then you can just give, just to have that chin extending out just a little bit past the jawline, something like that. Start getting rid of some of this stuff here, which you can draw on a separate layer. That way you can just, turn that layer off, and all of a sudden you have your guy all finished. Give him a little bit of, there we go. Give him some cheeks here. And neck, the muscles, pull here. Whoa, what just happened? I don't know what my pen just did there. That was weird. Right, and that's the basic technique. So it comes really handy. You can see how fast I was able to, pull out a quick, comic type looking character. using that technique and everything kind of lines up pretty well. You kind of, like I said, you have to know your basic proportions, but this is just a quick guide to get you going. And you can try different kinds of things and see what happens. Like I said, you can try going a normal circle up here, and then like the longer circle down here, and see what that, just kind of go with that and see, hey, where will that lead me? And instead of the front view, we'll do that's kind of 3/4 view again. So we're going to go like this, pull that line almost straight down. Now we got almost like it's starting to look kind of like already to me, it's kind of like a monkey guy. So we can go really long nose because we need to fill in that space here. And I'm gonna do very basic shorthand stuff here, so basic cartoon type stuff, because for the sake of time. And maybe we'll give them little eyes here. I'm not going to go into too much detail. Something like that. Ears going to be back here. Let's give it. We'll give them a mad widow's peak. I think kind of fits this shape. I'm not sure what kind of hair shape he'll have. Maybe kind of like that. Short hair. And from here you can go the cheek, come down, mouth, and then from here the jawline. So now you can go, okay, well, let's give him a big chin here. Jaw comes down, and now he has this kind of longer looking face because we used those proportions by changing the ovals. So how you draw those ovals really determines the overall shape of the face. So let's go. I'm going to kind of build this guy just a little bit. And the back of the head come down like this, and then this would come this way. And the little trachea. There you go. Kind of long-headed guy. This can be like Bruce Lee or something. Cartoon version of Bruce Lee. Actually, I can probably turn that into Bruce Lee. So you get the idea, and you get all different kinds of people out of this. Draw different kinds of noses on them and stuff like that. So it's a really cool shorthand. It's even great to do like Disney type stuff, cartoon, pretty much any style of cartoon, and pretty much anything, any style, manga, whatever you want to draw. Just add it into those styles, and it's going to work. This is already kind of looking sort of manga-ish, and you can take it and go, well, what if I had like, a big fatty circle with a more big fatty circle like this, and you can kind of hold on a second, go like this, and then let's go really big with the eye here, like this. Again, I'm doing this very quickly. I'm not going to draw the second part of the eyeball in there, just going to kind of shade this in. You kind of start getting, just by adding those kind of eyes, you're already starting to get more of a manga type style out of this. Let's actually pull in a lot sharper here. Little small ear. And then you can, I don't know. Actually, we don't have to give, upper lip at all. And it's been a while since I've drawn anything manga-ish, so I'm trying to like think about the what do I do for hair design? Really just very quick, couple lines, sloppy. That's pretty horrible, but you get the idea. Just by changing the shapes inside, you can use that technique, like I said, to literally draw any kind of style. Here we have something kind of like American manga. We have something going more towards manga, something just American comic, but more simple cartoon style. And then here we have getting more realistic, complex stuff like X-Men, some stuff like that. Depends what X-Men comic and who drew it, but it's more like realistic proportions, but still like comic book shapes, like comic book shaped eyes and stuff. The eyes and stuff are a little bit different, and you can also pull this in more like to that face there, and even maybe angle the chin even a little bit more, and we can start getting, and maybe make the eyes just a little bit bigger, and you can start getting into something a little more stylized, like, I don't know, what's the guy that did Aspen and stuff? I forget his name right now. Passed away, but really good artist. And then you can also use this same technique to do styles like Dean Yeagle and stuff. So anyway, really cool stuff. Hopefully you've enjoyed it and it's given you some help in drawing faces from different angles and just quickly to be able to draw pretty faces. In this case, you can also use it to draw men and stuff too, get nice handsome faces out of it. But yeah, so there it is. If you have found it at all helpful, do me a favor, it only takes a second. Hit the like button, I'd appreciate it. And hey, if you don't like it at all and you watched this long of it, you watched all the way till the end for some reason and you just totally hate it, I'm not sure why you watched it so long if you hated it, but I guess hit the dislike button. Either way, smash one of the like button or dislike button. It only takes you a second of your life to do that and lets me know how I'm doing. Alright, and also helps the channel. Thank you.